Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Werewolf the Wild West Chronicle. I'm the Ravenous Archon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. Last we left off with our pack. We opened up a week later as Doc brought them the good news that they were being allowed to inspect one of the two houses involved in the illness that is currently being spread through the city. It's kind of creeping around. We established that Artis has a new friend amongst one of the girls named Geraldine, who does go to church with her. We established that Clayton is trying to learn how to play the piano, but the poor guy is tone deaf. We established that Walks was approached by a Red Talon kinfolk who took him over to see something in the wilderness, and we got to see that Liana had a telegraph from her brother out in the East Coast. Artis managed to convince Clayton to join them at the church, and then convinced Liana to go with him as well. So Clayton was the talk of the town for a bit, as he was escorting three very demure young ladies to church that day. Walks noticed that he had been brought to another kinfolk that had given birth to 7 pups, one of which was not moving around, and after some assistance in his Hamid form and some good old-fashioned earth medicine, he managed to get the pup up and moving around, probably saving a future guru in the process. Who knows? The truth catcher came by with some would say bad news, some would say just the way things work in the cairn, but the Alpha had asked if any of the women in Kora's pack had laid with Clayton yet, since he was of childbearing age and a virile young man, which, of course, a Black Fury did not take well, and neither did the other Black Fury in the pack. And though the same question was posed to Walks, there was a different air to it, given what Walks is. That was juxtaposed by the sermon at church, which was all about believing in love and community. And when they returned, Kora invited Clayton into the conversation, after a little back and forth, relaying the information to everyone. And then we got to see them be taken to the old deputy's house, where they met the new deputy. Was it Eugene? No, Newton, sorry. Just creepy Newt, who's a little gangly and misshapen. But they noticed there was a false floorboard. One of the dressers had a false bottom, with a box, a heavy box, and Walks noticed that there was no real spiritual activity going on around the house, with a capital S. There wasn't any Weaver spirits that were taking care of the house, and there was a piece of broken window, the door scraped across the floor. It's very evident that the Weaver's influence was not felt here. But they saw that there was a jug of apple cider or applejack under the floor. The box in the dresser had some cash and a revolver that has not seen any action, and a lot of fancy clothes that should not have belonged to a deputy. But they ended up finding that the bowl of apples on the table looked like it was decaying, but felt much weirder than decayed fruit should feel. And so they decided to take that to Doc and kind of find out what that was all about. And before leaving, they did find a leather-bound ledger that had a Roman Catholic cross embossed on the cover and the words Semper Fidelis on the inside cover. And as they were leaving, they heard that one of the miners had been found dead in his tent, and the sheriff was on his way to investigate that while sending Newt and the pack over to Doc. And that's where we're going to pick up with everybody. It is Artist's birthday, so happy birthday to them. And I hope they are feeling better. But they will not be joining us tonight. So they'll be on autopilot, kind of in the background, just touching stuff as blind people do. Just putting hands out. But as you get to Doc's office, Newt kind of nods and waves and scrambles over to the Undertaker. Doc is inside the office. He's got one leg up on a chair. The other leg is kind of down by his side, and he looks like he's fallen asleep in his chair.
And yeah, it's very much that pause. How to do this? It's like, should I be mean or should I not? And then yeah, there's just the subtle tap on the desk.
He shoots up. And you see that him pulling his leg causes the chair to fall over, and he just curses under his breath as he gets up. I appreciate you not poking me. Would have gone bad.
Wouldn't have done that unless you told me you wanted me to at some point.
Let's never poke me. How about that? So, what did you find? And he starts to kind of dust himself off and stretch himself.
Found lots of money, revolver, fancy clothes for a deputy, and the main thing I think is this weird apples. And she just slides the apple bowl with the little thing on top of it that we put.
The handkerchief.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of like puts his thumb and pointer on top on a little mountain of the handkerchief, just kind of pulls it very gently, very gingerly. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Have you touched it?
No. Did any of you touch them?
Did I touch them? I don't think I did.
Somebody had to have touched them to feel the fleshy bit.
Oh, I touched it. Yeah.
I think I also touched it. Were
Okay.
we wearing gloves?
I mean, you are a lady in the Wild West. You should have some kind of gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I touched it with my fancy gloves on.
The lace gloves. Yeah, and Doc.
It's at least a little barrier, okay?
Yeah, and
A little bit.
And Doc just kind of holds out his hands, palm up, and like, let me see your hands. And he grabs Walk's hands, and he just kind of like twists them, and he feels it for a bit. He doesn't do the same thing with Liana. He just kind of like cursory just looks at it, asks you to move it how he needs you to move it.
What a gentleman.
I think he might have heard what happened with the truth catcher, and he is playing himself very protective. He does not want angry women turning into werewolves in his office.
Fair enough.
But he looks it over, sits down. All right, well, it doesn't look like anything's infected you. And it might just be because of our heritage and how strongly we fight things off, but if it was the apples, I would have expected to see some kind of smudging. Does it feel any different when you touch yourself, when you kind of flex in and push against your own skin?
No, not at all.
No.
All right. That's a good sign. If that changes, do come back. But all right, let's. He reaches over, he grabs a knife, and with a leather glove that he puts on his left hand, he grabs one of the apples, grabs a little small leather, like scrap, puts it on top, and the moment he cuts into it, you'll see the cut start to bleed. And he stops, and pulls the knife out very gently, and there is the smear of blackened blood. And he puts it on the leather scrap. That's
gross.
that's not what an apple is supposed to do.
No.
He grabs two rods and he puts one on top of the apple, and then he kind of tries to peel the cut side that he cut into. And you'll see that as he pulls the thing apart, there is musculature. It does in fact look like the inside of like an arm or a leg. There's that muscle fiber and the fat, the ligaments. And he's like, all right. Puts the prods on the same leather scrap, rolls it up, puts it all on the bowl, and takes the bowl outside and sets it on fire. I've seen enough. I've seen enough of that. What's in the jug?
What? Applejack, I think.
Did any of you drink this?
No.
Absolutely not.
Good. He smells
But
it.
now I'm wondering if these apples are actually body parts. This Applejack's probably Bloodjack?
Well, let's find out. And he pours some of it into the flaming bowl of flesh apples. And you'll see at the moment the Applejack, it comes out and it's like a rum color, like a dark brown.
Mm-hmm.
The moment it touches the fire, though, the fire turns blue. And like, well, I've seen enough of that too. And he just turns it completely facing down and lets the Applejack fall into the flaming bowl. And it just picks up. It's like lighter fluid on an open flame. Could I have all of you make a willpower roll for me, please?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that for you.
Difficulty 7.
Oh.
Am I just rolling one die?
No. You're gonna roll the number of dice equal to your willpower score.
Why am I not finding that?
It's at the bottom
Should be
by
below
Gnosis.
Gnosis.
And...
Yeah, it's rage, gnosis, and willpower. You have 5. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, willpower 5. So you roll 5 dice.
Oh, okay. I just don't know how to use my eyes today. But we're good.
It's
we're good.
alright. It's okay.
We're having a moment.
Alright. Listen, the apples were definitely a Cronenberg-esque situation, and I don't think anybody was expecting.
I have 0 successes.
Okay.
Hey, you didn't botch.
You didn't
That's
botch.
the important part.
This is true. This is true.
Yep. What did Walks get?
3.
3. And Kora, 3. Okay. So, as the last of the Applejack is burnt, there's this cold breeze that picks up in the area. And the chat with the truth catcher bubbles up to the surface of your thoughts. You know, like, who's the alpha to demand that you have children already? That you force yourself to go through that? Yeah. force in Walks' case is like force yourself to pick somebody to kind of put your seed into. And there's a frustration that is dug up about your positions in society. Can everybody make a rage roll for me? Difficulty 7.
Okay.
This time I got 2 successes.
Yeah.
We're on the right track.
That's much better than 0.
Correct. I agree.
Also 2.
2. Okay. 2s across the board. Perfect. There's this moment, and you can see that Doc is starting to kind of back away from the bowl, and he's looking around. He's got his brow furrowed, and he's holding the jug in one hand, and you can see the veins on the back of his hand kind of pulsing, and all of you will suddenly look down on a low angle to see him. It's... You didn't push this transformation, but all of you are in Glabro form. It's just like talk repeating, and every time the truth catcher's just like, you need to pump out some babies. It's about that time. You're not getting any younger. And Doc, you see, kind of steps back away from the three of you. All right, I know what's going on, and I don't like it, but you don't need to go that high. Come back down. What's eating at you?
Is he seeing something that we're not?
We shifted automatically because of how our rolls were, so he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if... So, like, we're hearing the truth catcher. I didn't know if he was hearing or seeing something else, or if it was in reference to all
Yeah,
this.
you're hearing the truth catcher because of the willpower roll. Mechanically speaking. He's just telling you to calm down because he just saw you grow like almost a foot. And it's the three of you that grew almost a foot in height. So it's a little bit like, yo, I didn't do anything. Like,
But he hasn't changed at all.
No.
Okay.
Do we feel like we're in it? Or is for us it's just like thinking of the thing?
No, like you can feel the strength that comes from the Glabro form. You can feel the resilience of it, the height, the kind of bulk of it. You definitely feel all of that. But it feels good. It feels like a stopgap.
Yep.
Now you want to go further.
Were you all thinking of the conversation earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm
Do
not
we know
happy
if
about it.
there's things that like have this effect?
You
Like as a direct effect, do we know if there's like, oh, you can buy like ether and just huff it and go straight into, Krenos or something?
no, there's no meth that shifts you into Krenos form automatically.
No wolf meth.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's no.
But what about bubbles?
Bubbles will definitely send you into a
Perfectly
rage.
natural. It's made from apples.
Yeah.
I just love bubbles so much.
Like thinking about it, and you have this moment where you can see something in your memory. Like there is this thing that you know is relevant to the situation, and then the image of the truth catcher steps in front of you, and you have that, you replay that conversation again, and this time she's in a more of a relaxed state of undressed. Like she's a little more casual. There's no uniform, there's no apron. For Kora and Liana, it's not in Kora's office this time around. The conversation's happening in what looks to be a nursery. There's a crib to one side, there's a rocking chair, and she just kind of is sitting and rocking back and forth and, you know, miming, holding a bundle and just being like, this could be you. You got that instinct in you. You hear Doc's fingers snap a couple times. All right, I need you to come back. I don't know where you went, but I need you to come back.
What's happening?
Can't get her out of my head.
Who's in your head?
The truth catcher.
The truth catcher.
No,
Oh, this is making me so mad.
Make a rage roll for me.
I have 2 successes.
Okay. It is getting thin. It is wearing very thin on you. You are 1, at most 2 more visitations from just going full out. It's frustrating. Not only going through the conversation again, but not being able to do anything about it. And you know that you're not the one that's remembering this conversation. Like, this is being pushed onto you.
Where is this coming from, Doc?
I don't know. You see him put the jug down, and he rubs his eyes, and after a moment he opens them, and you'll all see that they've kind of glossed over. But he is looking into the Umbra. And he takes a step back. There's a Bane Spirit that was released, I think, when we set these apples on fire, and you'll see him scratch his eyes and kind of blink a couple times. Alright, we'll step inside and we'll see if we can chase him down in the Umbra.
Are you sure it's not the truth catcher doing this to us?
I've known
Sure it's not her.
I've known Miss Noble for some time. I don't think she would want to do this to anyone.
I think when we go back in, Kora does the thing where she's put her hands very firmly on the desk in the way of if there's something, trying to keep herself calm and there's something to claw at, basically, if things get too intense.
Everybody roll a willpower check as you suddenly feel buffeted by something in the back of your minds. There's something primal that's trying to claw the beast out of you.
3 again?
3 again. Nice.
4.
4. Good.
Oh wait, no, 3 because I got 1.
3. Okay. So Liana takes 1 point of lethal damage, and Kora and Walks both got 3. So you take 2 points of lethal damage. The Walks will now realize that they are being attacked from the Umbra. This is a spirit using some kind of spirit power. and it is malignant. There is hatred here.
What do you want from a spirit? I got my spirit speech. I know it can't compel the spirit to actually answer, but...
Yeah, and you see that Doc is already looking at a reflective silver kind of platter. And he instinctively kind of takes a step to the side, but he's still in the room. And as he does that, you see him double over, and he starts to bleed from his nose.
Doc!
Oh. All right. That's an issue.
What's going on?
I can't step sideways. And he'll hold the silver platter out to the three of you.
We gotta go
What
in.
is the silver platter for?
The reflection. You need a reflection to go into the Umbra.
Yeah, you need a mirror or something like that.
A reflective surface.
Huh.
As the moon reflects the sun, so too must you use your reflection to step into the spirit realm.
I thought it was from the silver of it. So
No,
I was
no.
like, wow, is that a special... Yeah, okay.
No. Being this close to it, though, it looks silver, but it's not. Because otherwise, your instinct would have been like, "Oh, why is I'm not touching that."
I was like, "Is silver not bad for
No,
us?"
it is really bad.
Very bad.
I was like,
That's
how
why
is
I was
Doc
like,
handing
"Whoa,
us silver?
why is
Yeah,
Doc handing this to us?" Of course he keeled over. He was touching silver.
But no, he's not giving it to you. Like, he's holding it out so that you can use it as a reflective surface.
Yeah, so that we can go in and deal with the problem.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. Is everybody stepping sideways of their own volition, or are you gonna let somebody lead the charge?
I would normally have Walks lead the charge, but the last time
Yeah.
that was a botch.
Yeah.
I'm going in.
All right. Make a gnosis roll.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Difficulty is gonna be 8.
I failed miserably,
Okay.
including getting a 1.
Okay.
So you botched.
Yeah. So you're going into the Shadowlands.
Same.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
No successes, 1-1.
All right. Shadowlands.
Okay, so we're both going to the Shadowlands.
Shadowlands it is.
Just no successes because I didn't get any 8s. I just didn't. But no,
Okay, so
Don't worry.
like, I had given up that full gnosis point before, so I could have potentially had another chance if I didn't save us the last time.
Could have.
Don't worry, artists will grab us before we...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, let's let artists roll.
Yeah. Our artist is out there touching things in the street.
in the street.
In the street, unsupervised.
I think we'd have a better eye on her.
Actually, I will make some rolls to see how they were affected by the Bane Spirit. Because it might be that while you guys are off trying to get out of the Shadowlands, she's on a rampage of just full Krenos frenzy.
Oh, well, wait, did Kora make it to where she needed to go?
Nope.
I didn't get any successes, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kora,
okay, so all 3 of us are going to the Shadowlands.
No, I didn't botch.
Yeah, no,
so
Cora's
I just
fine.
didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Y'all
Kora-
are going to the
Kora
shadow.
bounced off of the invisible wall that separates the real world from the spirit world, and Kora needs to make a
He fell
willpower
through the
roll.
trap door.
Yeah. Kora needs to make a willpower roll, difficulty 9.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be rough.
I did get 1 success.
Okay.
Yay!
All right.
I was
So
not expecting that. I did get a nat 1 though too, so that's why 2, 1. Yeah, there.
okay. So instead of taking 3 lethal, you only take 2.
Okay.
But you definitely feel that the Bane has empowered the Weaver in the area to keep you on your side of the Umbra. Walks and Liana though do disappear. You see them just step sideways and they vanish from the material plane. Walks, you and Liana appear in a very familiar place. You're still in Doc's office, and the people that were there before that were enraptured by you are still there. And now there's two of you. And you see them reach out with their translucent hands towards the both of you.
Don't let them get you. This is where I
What'd
was
you say?
before. This is where I was before.
Uh-oh.
You and one of the voices is like, you got anything that you treasure? Any memories you wanna get rid of?
Don't be thinking of things.
We can help you. What's a bad time for you? And somebody else, what's a good time for you?
How am I supposed to not think of anything?
Yeah. What's your favorite
Just like
toy
that.
growing up? Somebody
Rox,
asks.
how am I supposed to not think of anything?
And if you got siblings, you hear another voice in the background.
Let's go outside.
Think of lilacs, think of lilacs, think of lilacs.
Kora will see Doc just curse. And he's like, they're not in the Umbra. They went back into the Shadowlands.
No.
Stay here in case the Bane Spirit materializes. I gotta howl for Imwe again.
Okay.
He's the only one that can get in there on his own. And you see as he crosses the threshold out of the office, there are gashes that just cut across his arms and his back like he's been whipped a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And he stumbles and almost falls. But you see him shift into his glabro form just to keep his footing. The Bane Spirit does not want anyone to leave this room. Not anyone Guru, at least.
So the scratches are from the Bane Spirit, or
Yeah.
they're okay.
Yeah. The Bane Spirit is a capital S spirit. You're dealing with lowercase s spirit, which are called restless.
Mm-hmm.
Wraiths are a completely different animal. Both of you give me a willpower roll. Difficulty 5.
All of us?
Yeah, well, just Liana and Walks, since you're being bombarded with questions about your past to try and invoke memories.
I'm just picturing, Frere Jacques. That's right.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. 3. You both managed to just think of something not important, like the juniper, the gin, the gun, the money, something that doesn't have any real weight to you. And you hear them, if they could salivate, they would, as they're trying to induce these memories. They keep yelling out these questions like, what was your favorite animal? Did you have a pet growing up? What's your white name?
I'm gonna try to offensively think something at them.
Okay.
Those recurring, like, I want to try to bring right back what the Bane Spirit was putting in my head.
Okay.
Oh, would that work?
Oh,
You'll find out.
it sounds fun, flavorfully. like something was attacking us by putting bad, angry images in our head, and now something's trying to suck out like memories from us. So
it's true. No, that's a good way to think. As you start to bring that up, Kora, in the office, you will notice that the wood is starting to look dilapidated.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like it's been aging for years, uncared for. The glass on the window cracks, and a piece, just like a jagged corner piece, just disintegrates in front of you. And a weaver spirit will make itself known. It'll materialize in the material plane, and you'll see that it is not the sharp angles that you're used to from a weaver spirit. Mm-hmm. It looks misshapen. There's two legs that are kind of fused together. They're the mandible. One of them is angled inward. The other one is angled outward. It's got one half of its face has the kind of cylindrical hexagonal set of eyes. The other one has one single eye, and then there's like a line of eyes that shoot back. It looks like it's been perverted in some way, shape, or form. And there's these black tendrils that pull from it back into the Umbra. And it's very clear that the Bane Spirit has infected one of the main weaver spirits of the house.
Oh no. Okay.
Darn what do you want to do?
Doc said to stay here. Doc said to stay here, though, and part of me wants to try and go to the other side to try and deal with the problem, but then my friends aren't there.
Yep.
I know something I can do.
Okay.
I have a gift.
Okay.
That will help me.
What do you got?
Wild Resurgence.
Ooh.
So I'll spend one of my Gnosis points.
All right.
And I will heal a couple of levels of lethal damage.
Ooh, okay. All right.
It's very much this kind of statement of it's more, if you want to come and attack me, come out and attack me. You know, it's that more of the thing of like, you want to fucking go? Let's fucking go.
Go. Let's go.
Basically trying to antagonize it to come physically.
Yeah. And you'll see the spider kind of look backwards, and then it just throws itself at you.
Yep. Poor spider. I'm gonna have to squish it.
You're gonna have to kill a weaver spirit. Do you want to split your dice pool for dodging and attacking, or do you want to just take this attack?
I'll just take the attack. I did some healing.
Yeah.
Walks will come back, and I'll be a little hurt, but he'll be able to fix me up.
Yeah. He's good at his job. All right,
He's a good guy.
I didn't roll terribly. 3 successes, so 2 threshold.
Okay.
And his claws only do 2. So 4 dice of damage turns into 2 points of lethal damage to soak.
Okay.
If you didn't shift down, you are still in your Glabro form.
Yeah. I have not shifted down, so at least I can.
You got some extra stamina.
At least do some soaky soaks.
Yeah.
Make sure the thing does it. Yeah. Cool. This sheet is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Let's see what to say. I got 2 successes.
All right, so you soak it. This is not a creature built for combat, very obviously.
Yeah.
It is unfortunately being used in that sense, though.
Can I just... How big is this spider? Is it a small one? A little bitty guy, or...?
It's about the size of a Scottish Terrier.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go for some swingies.
Yeah, just slightly bigger than a corgi.
Okay. So yeah, we are going to do the claws.
All right. Make your attack roll.
Yeah. I just got to remember it. Glabro, not Krynos. Glabro. Yep. So, plus the melee. There it is. So yeah. Gotta use the advanced roller here.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, not +9, you silly. I usually love Roll20, but...
Right, yeah.
There we go.
Whew. Oof.
Yeah.
A couple ones, but you still got enough successes. It's not dodging. So you got 3 total successes threshold. So add 3 to your strength.
Yeah.
Punch this thing. It's straight back into the Umbra.
Yeah, that's 10 with Glabro. That's nice.
Yeah.
If I remember, it's for the claws, it's 5, right?
Yep.
So, that is 5 successes, and I have a 10, but I don't think that explodes in combat.
No. All right.
Die, Corgi Spider, die.
Yeah. So it loses 5 more points from its power rating. You see it shift. There's this moment where it kind of glitches out of reality. And then there's this surge of black energy that surrounds it, and the missing pieces are being replaced by this, what looks to be this carapace, this kind of pulsing chitin that is not the sharp angles. It's bulbous, it's pustulent, it looks very liquidy, like there's something pumping inside of it. On the other side of the shroud, as Liana and Walks are dealing with the Restless, what are you trying to do? Where are you going? You're just trying to think angry thoughts?
I'm trying to very specifically think those thoughts that I was thinking that the that were coming out of from the outside of my mind.
Okay.
And if they're not there anymore, then oh well.
No, you can dredge them up.
I would like to attempt to think 2 things at once, but one thing be more prominent. Okay. Is that possible? To like give them something while also trying to do something else?
Yeah, what do you want to think about?
Well, for them, I'm just thinking about lilacs. That's the only thing I can muster. But I also want to try to reach into my pocket to see if there's a compact and then potentially get us back.
Oh, okay.
Through. Yeah.
So you're thinking of trying to escape while also thinking of lilacs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how successful that would be, but I'm trying.
Let's find out.
Okay.
Let's have you make an intelligence and primal urge roll.
4 and okay.
We'll say difficulty 7.
I got 2 successes.
All right. You are pretty confident that you've got enough forefront pushing the lilacs forward, and just kind of like in the background just being like, I've got to find a way out, but I've got to think about lilacs because lilacs are more important. But yeah, your hands kind of like slip into your pockets. There's a moment where one of them locks eyes with you walks, and you see his face contort. And it's almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His features become darker. There's this kind of shadow that passes over all of his body, and he becomes gangly, almost thicker. He goes from looking like a run-of-the-mill kind of general store manager, just kind of a little bit frumpy, to looking like a jacked Quasimodo.
Oh no.
This is from being fed the truth catcher vision.
From the angry thoughts, and it's something that you learn dealing with the wraiths, but they are creatures of two minds, the psyche and the shadow. And when the shadow gets enough angry fuel, it takes over, and as it subsumes the psyche down and pushes it into the back seat, you see its shadow take the forefront, and as it does, there is this swirl, this wind that you can barely feel. It looks like it's affecting them more than you, and you see some of them start to scatter, and they yell out, "Specters!" And all of them, except the one that you have fed this angry sensation to, just get to cover. And you hear this banshee's wail of this blood-curdling and at the same time this intense sadness, this kind of feeling of a mother that's lost their child, just comes echoing through the streets. And from behind a building, you'll just hear the thump, 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 and there are these massive claws that just dig themselves and are pulling this massive form forward. It doesn't look like it has legs. It is this malleable shape of what looks like an upper body. There are 3 breasts. There is this long kind of the ring girl hair that comes down. One side stops just below the shoulder, the other side just coils down, and is dragged under its frame as these massive claws pull it towards you. It looks like if Jabba the Hutt had these massive King Kong clawed hands that pulled it, and it was its only form of locomotion. And it's just pulling and pulling and pulling itself forward. And the one that you fed these angry thoughts to just kind of cackles and just sits there steepling his fingers. And as he does, this thing just brings one of its claws down on him and eats him. And it is cackling the whole time. Like it wanted this. And then the specter just bellows. And there's little fragments of his corpus that come out like spittle. In Doc's office, Kora's not dealing with any specters. There's only a Bane-infested Weaver spirit.
Yep.
I think you are in the better position right now.
Yeah.
Because you've
Or at
played
least
Wraith
that's how
You're
I
stuck
feel.
in a Bosch painting, and you're off just fighting.
in a Kincaid painting.
Oh, there we go. Sure.
The funny thing is that Kora's played Wraith, so she knows exactly how bad things have turned out for you guys.
And I'm doing my best to just keep it in. I'm just like, nope, you gotta experience this. I can't do anything. I'm
Yep.
just gonna say you done goofed.
You done goofed. The spider looks like it's gonna take its action to bolster itself. It almost looks like it's trying to fight off the infestation. Like you'll see the line of eyes kind of start coming back towards the hexagonal shape, and then they whiplash kind of back into their positions. It's trying to unfuse its two legs, and then they reform and they become this one thick appendage. And instead of a soft tip, there's this jagged kind of scorpion's tail end to it. And it just opens its mouth to what looks like scream, but nothing comes out.
Wow, I am going to attack this thing. Can I do it in the way of I see the spirits trying to take over? If I focus on the weird fusey bits, maybe it might help. I don't know. I'm not good with these spirits. Where's Walks when you need him?
Yep. Yep. I mean, technically, you could try going back into the Umbra. It is still there as long as you stay in Doc's office. So you're kind of reaching. You're reaching for excuses to go into the Umbra. I think for facing this thing.
I think yeah, there's probably that kind of like, oh, this is getting worse by the minute. I've got to cut it off at the source kind of situation. All right, so yeah, I'm grabbing the mirror, well, the platter,
Yeah.
and trying my best, and it's gonna be a little harder to do now.
Yeah. Gnosis is going to be difficulty 8.
Oh. I love werewolf, I really do. Hey, I got one success, and there's no ones, so I don't have to negate that.
Excellent. It is slow. You're not used to stepping sideways. Like, you'll do it, but you rather let Walks lead you through that kind of situation, or one of the other theurges in the cairn. But this is abnormally slow. You can feel like you are physically pushing against Weaver's tendrils, against the webbing. The gauntlet has been reinforced here, but as you're stepping more and more into the spirit realm, you see less and less of the spider and more of this Bane Spirit. What does Kora see in her manifestation of fear as this Bane Spirit locks its singular eye on her?
Oh, when it comes to fear, I think the first thing that comes to mind is Kora's mother. And it's not because Kora's mom is, a bad person, but that's where her Krynos, where the Black Fury comes from, and judgment was always swift.
Yep. And it becomes less amorphous as you become more and more pulled into the Umbra, and it still keeps that one eye. The bottom of its mouth is just this shark's maw of teeth that almost look like they grind back and forth instead of up and down. But it has that very familial form of your mother as you remember her in her Hamid form, so much so that the hair comes down the same way over her right shoulder, and there's this moment where it does the Henry Cavill kind of like cocking its arms, and as it does, its right one becomes that jagged Krynos claw that you remember your mother used, maybe for reprimanding or not. Make a rage roll.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength here because I was about to be like, oh, she's about to go nuts, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because yeah, we got lots of dice for rage when it comes to Kora.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difficulty we're looking at?
I think 5.
That's 4 successes with the 10.
Yeah. It is so hard to not fight this. You want to, on some primal level, just take out so much that was left unsaid or undone, and with no compulsion of your own, you shift up into Krino's form.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you see that it stays in that Hamid height of your mother's, except for that one right arm that is down below its knee and just this claw. But there are these bone spurs that come up and poke out in different angles, and just kind of coming out of the shoulder and elbow. But there is this grin across its face as you finish your transition into the Umbra. In the Shadowlands, the Spectre roars, and it does not look like it's backing down. What do Walks and Liana want to do?
Get the fuck out of there.
Run.
Okay.
Run.
Was compact found in pocket?
It was.
Okay.
It was.
So I'm gonna pull the compact out
Yep.
and signal for Walks to come over and I don't know, try to get out of the Shadowlands.
As we run.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but see, I'm also under the persuasion that if we run, it's gonna make things worse. So maybe we like calmly back away.
You can run and try to step sideways. It's not gonna be.
Okay, alrighty.
This is a bad situation to be in.
Okay.
Walks. This is not your first time in the Shadowlands, so I'm gonna cut you a break. You can roll your gnosis to try to get out. You're gonna need to roll against a difficulty 9.
Would it be easier to try to move from the Shadowlands into the Umbra than back into the real world?
You're trying to get out of the Shadowlands, period. It doesn't matter where you end up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is just Walks doing this?
If you want to let him lead you, yeah. If you want to try to get out on your own, it'll be difficulty 10 for you. It takes a set of gifts to move in and out of the dark Umbra, as it's called.
Yeah.
And luck. And luck.
And luck.
Clearly.
Yeah.
What was the difficulty?
9.
Not a 1.
Okay.
But no 1s, so
Okay. That's good.
Just don't.
That's good.
I actually did it.
What'd you get?
Yeah, 10.
I got a 10.
You got a single 10?
Yep, but I also got a 6 and an 8, so no failures.
Okay. So as the two of you are running away from the Spectre, you will see all the other restless just ducking out of the way, getting clear as you are leading it through the shadow of the city. And as it is thumping along, you will notice, Walks, that Liana is starting to disappear.
But did I do it without pulling him?
Yeah. If you were rolling for yourself, it was just for you.
Sorry.
Can I try to drift on that wave? Well, whatever it would be called.
I'll give you one chance to use her reflective surface before she vanishes.
I was like,
Okay.
toss it back.
Still difficulty 9.
Oh, 2 9s
Okay.
and no ones.
Okay. Look at you.
Oh.
Look at you. There's a moment where you feel this specter just lash out in this wave of anger as it brings its claw down where Liana was. And it just kind of scrapes the ground into this nothingness. And as it opens its hand, expecting there to be something, there isn't. It just turns its attention on you, and it brings its hands down, creating like a cage to pull you into its maw. And as it does, the last thing you see as you are pull yourself out of this darkness is the maw of just it is the closest thing that Walks will ever experience to looking into the heart of oblivion itself.
I don't know. We stared into that cosmic crow or whatever.
This is completely different. Like if Walks had ever thought about what there is at the end of everything, this is what you're looking at right now. What does the death of the universe look like to Walks?
I look into the darkness, and normal empty darkness, your vision is cut off. You know, if you're in like an advanced darkness, maybe in space, you can't hear nothing. I mean, you can't touch anything. This is cutting off feeling. Starts to cut off rational thought. Like as if they were each the layers of sensation. I was a little bit hungry. Because, you know, it's getting in the afternoon, we're doing some walking around.
Mm-hmm.
That just stopped and was replaced not by being full, but just by a lack of sensation, like the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the last bits that I feel are like you know, even the fear that was coming up with everything else going dark goes dark. And that's what I'm staring into.
And the closer you get, the number you feel towards everything. Nothing matters. Your place in the pack doesn't matter. Your place in the cairn doesn't matter. Your place in the sept doesn't matter. You are inevitably, in the greater scheme of things, a blip. You are a period in the middle of the galactic sentence of what is history of all time. You're a serif on a letter. And as that sadness starts to crash over you, you find yourself next to Liana and Kora, facing down this creature of black mist and misshapen half woman, half monster with a singular eye that just seethed with hatred. But Kora will see that at first Liana starts to appear, and it looks like she was holding something in her hand. And then Walks appears. Does Walks look like this took a toll on him?
I come out swinging. I mean, when like you're looking at the dark and then you see a light for the first time in a bit and it's extra bright. All my feelings and being just got reasserted onto me, all at once out of the hole that I was in. And uncharacteristically, I don't know. If the rage takes me, it's definitely not a choice. So if I don't rage up, then I guess we're still in Glabro.
Well,
But I just
make a rage roll.
Okay. A 10, a 9, and a 5.
Okay. The overwhelming sensation of having these negative emotions thrust upon you, and then seeing that familiarity of the Umbra, that the webbing across all of the building that you're in, which is still Doc's office, but seeing that it's putrid, that it's blackened, that it's tainted, and seeing that taint kind of trace back to this shadow woman with the singular eye, just pushes you over the edge. Like, you have, in the span of like 10 minutes, you have gone from seeing an apple bleed to staring into the face of oblivion, to pulling yourself out of the Shadowlands of your own willpower. And now there is this thing that is very clearly a Bane Spirit that has infested the Weaver Spirit of this house. And it is just kind of staring at you with its one claw raised up like it's about to attack, but it goes from looking at Kora to kind of looking where Liana is and looking at your place, and as it locks its eye on you, you've had enough. This is too much. It is one of those things where the meme of like, fuck this shit, I'm out, is just... If you had a desk with like paperwork, you would be tossing it to one side, throwing the keyboard at the computer, throwing the computer off the desk, flipping the table. It is that point that you have reached and surpassed. Like, there's no... The Rubicon was like a mile back. So it is very easy for you to just, without thought, shift up into Krino's form.
And I'm gonna go swinging straight at the spirit.
All right. Make a Dex and Brawl check. Remember that you are in Krino's form, so that does affect your dexterity.
Yeah. Dice. It's not Kora dice, but it's something.
Yeah.
Remember, you're in Krynos, so you get a +1 to your dexterity.
Yep. So I've got 6 dice. What's the target?
5 for claws.
Oh. Does the 10 do something here?
If you have a specialty, yeah, you can re-roll it.
Because, well, I rolled 6 dice, 6 successes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It had its attention on Kora, so it does not get any dice to dodge, so you add 6 to your strength, plus 2 for claws. So take those 6,
So that's
add that to your Krynos strength in dice, and then add 2 more dice on top of that, and that's how much damage you're doing.
so 2 for my base strength, 4 for the Krynos, and then 2 for the claws.
So yeah, so 2 for your base
Yeah,
strength,
6 to okay.
4 more from Krynos form gives you 6, and then 2 from the claws gives you 8, and then 6 from your successes gives you 14.
Oh,
That's what the successes are for.
Yep. Extra dice on damage.
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Welcome to Werewolf.
Yep. Yeah, you're
I-
here finally. Walks. Go ahead. Swing that hammer.
The one other time that I think I've only been like actually swung in combat like once or twice before,
Yeah.
and it's always been like do a little.
Little
Oh my
meow,
goodness.
Yeah.
meow, meow.
It feels good to take the car out of the garage, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what am I seeing on these dice?
6 or 5 or higher.
5 or higher again. Okay.
Yep.
And do 1s do extra bad?
No, not on damage.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. Holy shit.
8.
Kora's gonna be so proud. He's gonna be so proud.
Only 1, so it takes 7 points of power damage. It is hurt. Liana, what do you want to do since you've come out of the Shadowlands back into the Umbra, which is familiar, even though this is not a familiar space for you?
Liana, I think, is gonna probably be like so upset at the whole situation that she goes back into Hamid form to cry.
It is a very normal reaction to have after what you've been through. It is warranted.
Mm-hmm.
Kora, you've seen Walks go into his Krynos form and just lash out like you've never seen him before. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, you see Liana shift down and just start crying. They have seen some shit.
There is definitely the urge to try and take care of Liliana right now. I almost said Liliana.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's this fucking thing here, and it needs to get taken care of.
100%.
You know, so yeah, she's kind of, I think the way Kora deals with it, she's kind of positioned herself in front in that kind of protective manner. And yeah, she's gonna go swinging to try and end this quickly, so we can deal with the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now in Krynos, ha ha ha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be, yeah, it's not going to affect this. It does affect the damage. Yeah, there we go. So I got 2 successes on that, the claw swing.
Okay. It did not. It wasn't gonna dodge because it was gonna lash out at you. So that's 2 threshold. So add those 2 to your Krynos strength plus the 2 for the claws.
That is 10.
10. Holy shit.
I rolled a 1.
Ones
Oh wait, they don't take.
They don't take
Yeah,
away
so
from
it's
damage.
11.
Holy
11
shit.
damage.
Yeah,
I think Kora's had enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You do so much damage that you literally rip it out of its form right as it's about to slash at you, and you see it become its amorphous little like ghost, like the Slimer of a Bane Spirit. And it starts to just open mouth screech, but it's silent. There's no sound coming out. And it's just kind of swimming through the air trying to get out of the space. Walks. Do you want to let this thing leave?
No. I'm gonna jump after it.
All right. Make a Dex and Brawl check.
Does it eat in this form?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like dangerous anymore?
Bane Spirit is always dangerous. Look at what it did to the Weaver Spirit.
Okay. I guess the thrust of it was whether or not I'm gonna just keep on going, or take it as though it was this is now wounded prey that I can just execute.
Yeah, no, you want to execute it. The worm must be destroyed in all its shapes and forms.
So just I'm gonna jump up at it and just start slashing again.
All right, Dex and Brawl. To claw down on it.
In Litany we trust.
Yep. Destroy the worm in all its forms.
5 successes and 2 10s.
Ooh.
10s.
Ooh, okay.
That's rolls, more rolls.
More rolls. So now you're gonna do the same thing. Take your base strength, add the 4 for Krinos, add the 2 for your claws, and then add all 5 of these successes as dice. And that's how much damage dice you're rolling.
Roll that shit. Roll it.
So 2, and then 4, and then another 5.
So it's 2, 4 for Krinos, 2 more for your claws, and then the 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's 13 dice.
1, 2, 3.
And you're a theurge, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed 2.
This is what it's like to play werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
7 hits.
7 damage. Yeah.
Soaks 1, so it takes 6 points of damage. It is discorporating. Yeah, it's still trying to pull itself out of this existence, out of this room, out of this town. You can feel it's. This is the one time where a spirit of anger and hatred and pure frustration has switched gears into just pure dread. Like the mood has completely shifted, and now it's giving off waves of fear and anxiety and this need to not be in its current space. So everybody give me a willpower roll as it shares its fear with you. Difficulty 7.
Are ones affecting us this time?
Yep.
Okay. Then I got -1.
Oh no. Well, if you have successes, it'll only ever take you down to 0.
I got a 10 and then I got 2 1s.
Yeah, so you got no successes. It'll never penalize you negatively.
I'm
in that way.
In my visuals, it's still a -1.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and I got no successes.
No successes.
No successes. I used them all up.
Yeah.
Well, big ones.
Yep. There is this wave, given what Walks saw, what has become his primordial fear in life? What is like the new top thing that just would be so terrible if it happened to him?
That same darkness. Just finding myself not being able to sense or interact, or I guess contribute and participate in life. Yeah, that's a underlying deep thing for anything. And it's not something you normally feel as a distinct fear. You'll feel the things on top of it, like, oh, I'm gonna get injured and therefore I won't be able to help, or artist is blind, say darkness all around, oh, that could happen to. But this is like nihilistic, existential kind of fear of, all of this is darkness, and the shadows are taking us, and what might be the point?
That all washes over you, and this height advantage that you had on this thing, you will notice that your line of vision just shifts back down, and there's this moment where you just have to mimic Liana. There's just so much that you have now come to realize is out of your control. And should any of those dominoes topple in the right direction, they would crush all of you. And that feeling just sends you back into Hamid form. But Kora's too angry to care about sad shit. And being afraid of anything right now.
No.
So you get one last chance to take it out before it leaves the room.
Yep, we're gonna wreck it.
Okay.
Or as much as I can.
Yep. It is bad, so you could end it right here.
Yep.
You gotta pull on the ancestors of all the runes that came before you, all the runes that will come after you.
Two successes again.
Okay. It's not dodging. It used its abilities, so that's 2 threshold.
Yep.
Man, with all your dice, you only got 2? Oh, because the ones.
Yeah, the ones. They got me.
Those sons of bitches.
Still 8 on the damage.
8 on the damage. Soaked 1, so it takes 7. It stops moving. And it just plops down into place. And it turns to face all of you, and there are tears coming down from its one eye. It is torn to shreds. Excuse me. There are pieces of it all over the floor and ground. The house itself is starting to look like the damage has been done, but it'll stop here once this thing is removed. And as it kind of reaches its hand up, kind of asking for mercy, you'll see just this scorpion-like pincer come in from behind you and just stab it in its eye. And as it starts to disintegrate, it takes the Weaver Spirit with it. And both of them will disintegrate, and the webbing around the house will start to disintegrate, and you'll see that all the Weaver Spirits that were outside waiting for the resolution of this just kind of form a circle at the doorway, and then they scatter to the rest of the town.
Oh, they're scared now.
But the Bane Spirit and the Weaver Spirit in charge of the house are both gone. You've done something good. You destroyed the worm, an emanation of the worm.
Yay. And that's when Kora's turning with the heavy breathing, and yeah, now she's seeing the tears and everything, and it's like, and I think she just kind of comes over in Kronos form and gives hugs, like scoops them both up.
Yeah, big Sasquatch hugs.
Yeah.
Okay. You stay there.
Trying to comfort.
Yeah, you can stay there for a while, because it's a good few minutes, like almost 20 minutes, until Doc comes back. And when he does, you will already have pulled yourselves out of the Umbra. His house looks decrepit.
Oh.
Pieces of the wall are falling off. The table that he was inspecting these apples, you see, is missing a leg. It's all wobbly. The chair he was sleeping on has lost both its back legs and just kind of fallen over. His bed is in disarray. There's the only things that are still usable and manageable are his tools. Otherwise, everything that was part of like his human life has fallen apart. And you see that he comes back with Imwe. And Imwe Walks will recognize in his lupus form. But Doc just kind of looks around, pulls his hat down. What the fuck happened to my house?
Bane Spirit still holding Walks, I think. Liana, if they're still.
Yeah, I think you're on the floor in the middle of his house. He just kind of comes over and sits down in front of you. Fuck. And you guys survived?
Touching everything now, just to make sure everything's real. Yes.
Yeah.
The artist approach.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Imwe will come over, and you'll see that the first thing he does is just kind of like put his head on Walks' shoulders, and you'll feel that sensation of a mother's touch on you, but it's different. It feels older. It feels more like a grandmother. Like that sensation of like where a mother would be touching your face or your shoulder. Like this is just kind of like putting its hand on the top of your head and just kind of coming back and just holding the base of your neck at the back of your head. And there's that warm sensation of somebody who means the world to you hugging you. And then he does the same thing with Kora. And he does the same
Is this
thing
what I've been doing to people?
with Liana. But kind of. He's using grandmother's touch. So not only does it heal you, but it also restores 1 point of willpower and 1 point of gnosis.
Ooh.
So. But he nods. He kind of like sits there with all 4 of you. Well, alright, at least some good came of this.
So, apples.
I'm so sorry,
apples.
Doc.
Hey, it's alright. House can be rebuilt. If we lost any of you, it would have been much more terrible.
Everything crumbles anyways.
Yeah. I think,
Just running fingers now through Walks' hair.
Yeah.
trying to soothe still.
yeah. He's like, it took me a lot longer to get to Imwe, so I would have been here sooner, but I had to find a way to subdue your galliard.
What happened?
It seems that she was unable to fight the frenzy.
Oh.
I had to drive her out of the city before she hurt somebody. I think the pastor saw us though, so hopefully the delirium takes hold of him, otherwise we're gonna have to do something about him.
Oh no. That's
I'll
gonna
let-
be sad.
I'll let you know if he
That's the
starts
one
asking
place
around.
she feels safe.
If he starts asking around, I'll let you know. I won't do anything to him unless I get your say so. I know the alpha would make her do it, but I can't put her through that.
Mm-mm. If we end up having to, I'll do it.
I know you will.
And I have to protect my pack.
Yeah. And he leans back on his hands and just, man, if I had known apples were gonna lead to this today, I would have fucking slept in. So who makes cider? Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 main orchards outside of town. There's a couple more to the south. There's some on the road to Kansas. A lot of places to hit.
Did the Applejack bottle have any sort of labeling on it?
You go back outside, and you notice that it's untouched by the Bane Spirit's influence on the Weaver Spirit. You can still see it. There's a little spider kind of running around it. Just tiny little, like, thumbtack size spider. On the outside, there is not really, a brand or anything like a etched or a drawing. It's just the 3 X's
Mm-hmm.
on one side. But there's definitely some kind of relief on the inside. You can see that there's grooves. The light kind of catches some of it as you look into it. You would have to break the jug open to see inside of it.
Okay. Kora, does her best to try. And she thinks about shattering it, but then it's like, what if I break this?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this should go to someone more delicate with this kind of stuff.
Also,
And
maybe one of the regulars from the Golden Apple or some other town drunk would recognize it by the smell,
maybe.
or just by the look of the bottle before it's broken.
Maybe. I know it's not a lot to go on, but I was just thinking maybe. It's either that or we just burn every apple orchard in the area, and that's a lot of work for...
That is a lot of work. But Doc gets
Good work, though. Honest work.
Doc gets
Necessary.
a walking stick and just kind of jams it into the hole of the jug to the point where it resists, and then he just takes a small hammer and hits it until there's a cracking noise. And you'll see that there is this lightning bolt of a crack around the top of it where he's broken the place where the little handles are, and where it connects to the rest of the jug. And he pulls it out with his walking stick, and there's this big hole that now shines light into the inside of the jug. And on two separate sides, you'll see the same image. It is an apple with what looks like a crown, but instead of being directly on top, it's skewed to one side, almost like the notorious B.I.G. famous picture, Biggie's picture. And you've seen it somewhere before, specifically Kora. This is something familiar to her.
And she's probably grabbed it and looking. Where do I know this from? Where?
Doc's like, I'll take one half, you take the other, and we'll ask around if you want.
Mm-hmm. But it looks so familiar.
And he very gently will use the same stick and hammer to kind of crack the jug in half as best as possible. Well, I wonder what the significance of this crown on this apple. Why is it skewed like that?
Because it's...
Is it some kind of symbol for something?
I mean, I've never seen this kind of skewed crown on any historical images. No
Perhaps
paintings.
it's just the logo for the orchard, in the same way that you have the golden apple for the golden apple, Kora.
Gilded apple?
Gilded apple.
Yeah, that you would think that, but there's nothing royal about any of the families that I know of. There's no queens or McQueens, there's no kings, there's no dukes, no counts, no barons.
There's a noble.
Miss Noble? Yeah, her family's not in the brewery business.
Some sort of royal.
What I know of her is that she doesn't have any ties to any of the orchards.
Royal, regal, imperial. You know, Cora's kind of trying to think about it in, you know, like actual symbology kind of stuff. It's
The only thing I can think of right now is like some type of cowboy gang.
Yeah.
I'm not on the right track. That's just where my brain went.
And Doc just kind of, it could be a gang. I don't know if they have the resources to kind of put a relief into whatever machine they're using to turn clay pots out for their business. And he'll show you when he takes a look at the halves. He's like, look, this was made in halves. You can see here the pain that they took to try to seal the two halves together with another layer of clay.
Hmm.
This is a business. This is somebody that has money.
Yeah.
Is there a potter in town?
I don't think there's any potters. I know that there's people that have played around with pottery. I think Tilda Jacobson has a wheel. She's not good enough to do this kind of work.
Maybe she would know who is.
Maybe. You could try talking to her.
I think that's a good place to start.
A good place as any, I think. I'm gonna take this around. I'm gonna hit up the Silver Star, then probably hit up the Gold Digger. This might not be something that is just served to individuals. This might be something that's been smuggled into or willingly brought into these establishments.
I'll talk to Garrett. He might know.
No, that might be a good spot for you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will also start looking for a new place to live. He stands up at that.
Doc, if you need a bed for the evening and everything like that, you are welcome to come to my establishment.
I am honored, but for the sake of my sanity, I think it's better if I stay in a place that doesn't have such temptations as your establishment.
That is fair.
And he pats Imwe behind the ears. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you coming through and helping us. And the wolf nods.
I'm gonna definitely make sure to kneel down and,
Mm-hmm.
very like, thank you.
I agree.
And very, very dog-like, he just kind of like puts his paw on your forehead. There's almost like there's no need for that.
All right.
He'll run out as Doc begins to pack up his stuff. Where do the three of you want to go?
I'm gonna go to Tilda Johnson.
Tilda Johnson. Yeah.
Although somebody should probably go get artists back into town.
Yeah. We may end up having to do that too. I will go.
Right. Which way is Walks gonna go?
If Doc needs help, I'll help him pack up or find whatever bits in the wreckage.
Yeah. I mean, once he's done, once he's
good.
done picking everything up and setting himself up, like he sets his house on fire.
As sad as that is, it also makes sense.
Yeah.
The apples were in there. Yeah.
There's
all
no
garbage now.
There's no risk taking with him. It's like, oh, a Bane Spirit was in here? This is gotta be burnt to down.
Shame.
Shame. But yeah, you notice that Doc actually does have a shotgun. He's got a little Winchester. No revolver, no handgun. And he does have this elaborate looking curved, not Bowie knife, but definitely in that vein. But the handle, it looks like it's made of bone with this leather strap around it. And you can sense the moment he pulls it out of the box that was underneath the floorboards under his bed, that it is silver.
For
Like silver,
facilitating
silver?
passage.
Yeah. Walks could probably wager that that's a clave.
Final passage. Sorry,
No,
that it's a what?
that's a clave. That's a ceremonially gifted war blade. There are two versions. There's a regular clave, which is really a high praise to receive, and then there's a grand clave, which is something that's only given to like the heroes of the age, like people that have faced down, incarnations of the worm itself on the material plane, earn a grand clave. The amount of work that goes into not only crafting the silver blade, but to convincing the war spirit to imbue it with his own presence is a Herculean task. Like any theurge that's responsible for crafting, like being responsible for crafting a clave or a grand clave, is looked highly upon.
You must tell me a story sometime, Doc.
He looks at it and he's like, that was a different time, back when I earned my warder title. I'm a simpler man now. That's why I keep it at arm's length, but close enough that if I need to, I can call upon it.
I hadn't imagined.
You'll find that Alpha rewards strength. And when I earned this, I was someone that wanted to be accepted by him. I have since tempered myself like the blade is tempered. And I know now that his acceptance is not what matters in the world.
Well,
I'll play his game though, and I'll show him my strength, and I'll show him that I am still useful to the cairn. But the moment I see that he slips up, I will put this blade through his throat.
Well, it sounds like you have more than one story to tell then.
There's a few.
I think you'd have others standing beside you when that day comes.
I think so too. I don't wake up looking for that day to come, though. That's not who I am anymore. He slings the backpack over his shoulder. I'm gonna go to the Silver Star if you want to get a drink and maybe hear one of these stories.
Yeah. After what's gone on today?
Yeah. Oh.
I think I may try.
I want to ask about this. And he kind of shakes the jug half that he has. But he starts walking with you towards the Silver Star on the edge of town. Liana will go, after finding directions, to Tilda Johnson's house. She's a older woman, spinster. Looks to be about mid-50s. And you can see that she's cleaning her hands with a rag as she opens the door for you. Her house smells of pie. What kind of pie is it, Liana?
It is. It is blueberry pie.
Hints of cinnamon waft through the air. She smiles as she opens the door. She's like, "Oh, how can I help you?"
Oh, hi, Miss Johnson. My name is Liana. I was told that you do some pottery.
Oh, some, yes, when my hands feel like working with me. Sure. And she kind of flexes her fingers, and you can see that there is some of, like, the ring finger on one hand is kind of crooked, where that second knuckle is. The middle finger of the other hand is crooked where the first knuckle is. You can definitely see that if she's not fighting arthritis currently, she's been fighting it for some time. Excuse me.
Well, I'm looking for someone who might be able to do a custom piece of pottery for me. Would you be able to do that, or do you have any recommendations?
Well, what are you looking to have crafted, young girl?
Essentially something with two halves that get fused together with more clay.
Two halves? Why wouldn't you just... Why... That... I've only been doing pottery for half my life. I'm not as educated in all the new techniques that are coming out, so you have to forgive me. Why would somebody create something in two halves instead of creating the base and then putting on the lid? What kind of shape are you looking for?
Great question, Ms. Johnson. I was kind of hoping to create a bottle.
Bottle
that had a little secret message inside.
Oh, yeah, it would be so much easier to just create the base and shaft of the bottle and then put the top. It's much easier to just kind of moisten the rim of the bottle like a glass and then fasten the top after, because it's easier to make those two halves instead of having to cut it lengthwise, as I think that you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, I've seen it once before, and I just thought that it looked really cool, and someone said that you're the best potter in the neighborhood.
Well, I don't know what temperature has to do with it, but I definitely don't think it's an easier method. It's not something that I would be able to even start to... I don't know why someone would do that. That sounds like it's not a hand created item. That's definitely not something a man or a woman has made. That feels like one of them steam engine things.
The steam engine, really?
Something machinery like. Something like the press that makes newspapers. That might be shaped to that kind of... But again, why?
I don't know. I never thought of that. That's really smart. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking, though.
By the way, your house smells amazing. Is that blueberry pie?
It is. It was my neighbor's favorite before she passed last year, before the harsh winter took over.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I bake it now and then to remember her, and sit down with some tea and just reminisce about all our adventures when we were younger, and you know.
That sounds so nice. I'm new to town, so I'm still starting to get to know everybody. Thank you so much for sharing all of this information with me.
Of course. Would you like a slice to take?
Only if it doesn't.
Oh, it's just me here. I don't mind giving away some slices.
I would really appreciate that then. Thank you so much, Miss Johnson.
Sure. And she cuts you a generous slice of blueberry pie, and she sprinkles some crushed nutmeg and a little pinch of cinnamon. And she brings it over to you with a very lovely bronze fork. Now, I see that you have a trustworthy face about you, so I expect this plate and this fork returned to me when you are done.
Oh, it absolutely will be.
All right. I look forward to seeing you again, Miss Liana.
I appreciate your help, and I look forward to seeing you again too. Tease on me next time.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to that then.
Have a great day.
You too. And she closes the door. But you see that she does kind of stand in the window, just smiling as you walk away.
That makes sense. It was a little suspicious.
Yeah. But Kora will come across some of the mountain pack. What are they called? The Valley Strider pack. Who are the new pack that's coming from California. And they have tied down artists. Some of them are sitting on her. It looks like she's still in her Glabro form, and she's still kind of fighting the throes of this frenzy. And you know that their pack is unorthodox, so their alpha shifts with the circumstance. So right now, the one that steps towards you is their Silver Fang Arun, who you know is an Adrian. His pack name is Follows the Sun.
She's very respectful.
Yeah. But he has his Philodox and his other Arun on top of her. But he comes over. I know this looks bad, but she's still coming down. It was worse. And he points over, and you can see that there are trees that just have these huge gash marks in there where she clawed at it or bit down on them.
Well, I'm glad she only hurt the trees and not y'all.
Doc did a good job of driving her out of the city. But once she was out in the wilderness, it was a bit of a hunt. I won't lie. For being blind, she's kind of squirrely.
That is artist. 100%.
Noted. You're welcome to stay with us until she calms down. We haven't left her side since we tackled her to the ground. And Walker of the Iron Web is our Theurge, and he's been taking care of her physically.
Thank you.
And you see that he perks up when he hears his name, and he kind of like looks over. That's me.
Yep.
That's me.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying bad things about me. And follows, looks at you, and just very quietly, always got good ears. As fuck.
In this time, yes.
And very loudly follows is like, that's what you get when you get an Iron Rider. And again, the Theurge kind of looks up. Talking about me again? You talking about me? Sit down. Shut up. Keep reading what you're reading. Pulls a book. I will.
And Kora does the thing where she sits down with them, with artists, that sort of thing, to where he at least has a friendly face.
And although these are people from California, they're not from the part of California you were at when you went to help artists with her heritage. But you do know that they have two runes, a Silver Fang and a Red Talon, who is a female. Her pack name, because she refuses to answer to her human name, is Eyes Like Thunder. The Theurge is Walker of the Iron Web. He's a Iron Rider male. Fostern, the Red Talon, is also a Fostern. They have a Philodox, who is a Fianna. She's an Adren. Her name is Voice of the Storm. And they have a female Shadow Lord, Galliard, who's also an Adren, who's called Sings for the Stars. If you've asked, they have given you their Haman name, but they know that coming into this cairn, everybody does things by their pack name.
Yeah.
So that's how they've been introducing themselves. But after an hour of just chit-chatting and seeing them kind of not bully, but definitely poke fun at their Iron Rider, you see Artis come down to her Hamid form. And she's just like, who's sitting on me? Why are people sitting on me?
It's okay. You went a little crazy.
Kora?
Yeah.
And she starts crying.
No, and Cora's in this kind of thing like, everybody's crying today.
Everybody's crying.
And
it's been an emotional day.
It is. And it's just, oh.
Yeah.
Walks has gone for a drink. Liana had some pie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But follows the sun kind of motions, and the ones that are sitting on top of her kind of get off.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that most of them, except for follows and the Theurge, shift down into lupus form.
Mm-hmm.
Follows kind of helps up Artis, and then very quickly just kind of like backs away. This is a crying woman is not a position that he wants anywhere, any proximity to be in. Yeah. So he's just like, she looks okay. And he looks to their Theurge, and the Theurge like, yeah, it looks okay. So we'll leave her in your hands, I think, and we'll go report to the Alpha that no harm was done.
Thank you. I will get her safely home.
Yeah. And there's this moment where you see the Red Talon kind of come up right behind Artis, and it puts his head against her hand, and she instinctively just kind of scratches the top of its head, and then it jerks her head away and nods and takes off with the rest of the pack. It's so weird for Kora for a second, because you've seen a red talon or rune disdainfully look at her. And to see this other red talon or rune show a pittance of pity for her is night and day.
It's definitely the kind of the eyes watch as the other one goes away, and it's.
Once you get back to the Gilded Apple, you put Kora to bed. You have this moment where you are yourself in your own room or in your office. And you can hear the sounds of the liveliness, the regulars, the imbibers, the Garrett kind of yelling at Layla stomping around, causing mischief. And in a moment, the bar is gone. And you are in an Olive Garden. Not the Olive Garden, but a garden.
Where you're when you're here, you're here.
Yeah, you're not family for sure, but there are no breadsticks for you. But there are olive trees. The smell of the Mediterranean is subtle, but it's there. It's different than the Wild West. You hear singing. It's not English. It's something straight out of your memory. Something before the change. And then you will hear a horse whinny. And when you turn around, there is this beautiful ivory horse that just clops around and extends its wings. And it just looks in your direction. And in Greek, you hear someone in the distance, "Find me." And this is a good point to call it for tonight. So thank you guys for coming back for this episode. Happy birthday to Artis again. We missed you, but we know that the gremlin has taken control of its biomechanical mech suit. So hopefully it is more lenient next time we meet. As always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're into. So let's start with the token boy at the table tonight. Walks, where can people find you and what are you up to?
Oh, nothing. Nowhere. Here.
Succinct as always. Thank you. Kora, what are you up to? Where can people find you online if you want to be found?
I am here every other Tuesday, but you can find me on the Bird app, Mastodon, Blue Sky, all the places under the Goth Fury Chord
Perfect.
title. So yeah,
All right.
find me, be my
And
friend, show me your dice.
Yeah. And Liana, where are you on the internet and what are you up to?
I exist in the ether. Please do not find me. Just watch me here.
Yeah. Perfect.
Also, Bubbles.
Bubbles. There will be children playing with Bubbles in the spring or summertime for sure.
Adults also play with Bubbles.
Sure. And there may be an adult who quickly puts his bubble maker away when he sees other adults coming. But as always, thank you guys for coming back for this game. Thank you to the audience for following us. I hope that you guys are having a good time. As always, you can find us here every other Tuesday for Werewolf the Wild West unless we're on break. But also, since we are in the currently darkest timeline, just know that we take mental health on the channel very seriously. So please, if you feel like you need help and you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat, so you can find the resources to help you out, whether it be calling somebody or texting somebody. There is a trained person out there who is willing and wanting to help you. If you're not in the United States or you don't do well with phone calls or text messages, you can always go to findahelpline.com and find for an online way of getting your help, or finding the resources in your area if you're not in the United States, which is currently a shit show, unfortunately, because of the authoritarian regime that is trying to take over the oligarchy, the broligarchy as they call it, which is a fucking travesty and a dog and pony show of what used to be democracy. So it is a dark time, and I know that people out there are having a hard time. So just know that there are people out there who want to help you, who are trained to help you, and all it takes is it's taking that first step. But otherwise, please know that you are not an island, and that we are better off with keeping you around. So as always, you can find us here on Mondays for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Tuesdays are for Werewolf the Wild West, like you just saw, or Scion 1st edition. And then Thursdays are for 7th Sea or Legend of the Five Rings. You can catch me on Wednesdays over at McStapper Studios, where I'm currently running a Mage the Ascension 20th anniversary game set in 2018 Miami, Florida. And sometimes I will sneak into a Friday game for a cameo of Kansas City's best and most handsome Baron, Rurik Rakosi, who won Best Sire 2 years running. So just know that I am around if you want to find me. But as always, thank you guys once again for joining us. Please take care of yourselves. Have a good night, and we will see you when we see you, everybody. Bye.